So for the last 20 minutes I've been sitting here trying to work out how to start this video, and there's never really any good way to start talking about poverty and hunger and the kind of intense suffering that really exists in the world. So instead I started having a look on Twitter, as you do. So I was reading through my Twitter feed, and I found this tweet from the Enough Food If campaign, which said if everyone was eating properly, there would be enough food for everyone. And that, as it stands at the moment, 1 in 8 people every night go to bed hungry. And in light of that, there's been a challenge that's been set up called the Live Below the Line campaign. And in essence, what that does is it challenges people who, like me, are from kind of a modest background. I'm not rich, but I'm very, very well off. You know, I'm easily within the top 25% of the world, just because I live in England, just because I have a house, I have a bed, I have my own room, I have a computer, I have access to the internet. I'm able to give you this video. That places me well within the top 25% of people in the world in terms of wealth. And the bottom 25% only have £1 a day to live on, or the equivalent of what is a British pound a day to live on. So the Live Below the Line campaign basically says that we should be taking people who are well off, like I am, and getting them to live below the line, and basically spending £1 a day for food for 5 days. So I've taken up this challenge, so this starts on Monday, the 29th of April, and ends on the 3rd of March. So that's Monday to Friday next week. But to start off with, I'm going to run you through my food for 5 days, and it really isn't much. It's very sparing. So we'll go through that now. So for breakfast, I have some porridge oats, and this cost me 65p. So that's basically all my breakfasts. Unfortunately, I can't afford any milk, so I'm going to be making those with just water. So that'll be enough to sustain me, but it's going to be pretty rough. Instead of just having it nice and boring, I've got some mixed fruit jam here to stick in it, which is hopefully just going to spice it up a bit, make it just a bit more interesting. That was 29p. For my main meals, I've got some rice. That's going to be my main staple. That was 40p. And then just to make that a bit more interesting, I've got some veggie stock cubes here, just to kind of put a bit of flavour into the rice, hopefully. Then to go with my rice, I've got a couple of tins of kind of pre-made food. So what I've got is two cans of this pork and bacon meatballs, and each of these is going to be 2 meals for me. So I'm going to be splitting these in half and having them with a good sized portion of rice. So those were 40p. And then as well, I've got some Irish stew here, which is 49p. That's a real big one because it's actually got proper kind of bits of meat in it rather than kind of reconstituted stuff. So that's going to be a bit of a treat for me. These were 49p. So yeah, so ultimately that's all the kind of staple food. That's what's going to be sustaining me most of the time. I also have a bag of mixed veg, which was 75p, and that's going to, that's a good kilogram of mixed veg, which will just fill out everything else. And then on top of that, I've got a can of peach slices here, which is 32p, and that will just, hopefully just give me something else to have at the end of the day, maybe a peach slice or two. And to go with that, I've also got, I managed to budget for 1 banana, which the cheapest way of doing those is 11p from the supermarket, which took me by surprise. Actually, I would have thought it would be a heck of a lot cheaper than that, but hopefully we'll stretch that over maybe 3 or 4 breakfasts, and we'll see. Yeah, and then so I finished off my budget with a bag of plain flour, and I'm going to be making chapatis and flatbreads with that every day, and that should just hopefully give me a different texture and something else to go with. That's 32.5p for half the bag, and then I needed a couple of other things just to finish it off. So in this little pot, I'm not sure if you can really see it, but I've got some lard in here. That's about 10p's worth of lard. So we had a packet of lard in the fridge, so I cut off an amount and weighed it out for myself. And then I have 10p's worth of table salt here, which is actually, it's a huge amount of table salt. I'm never going to need all of it, but I thought it's safe to have more than not have enough, because I'm an absolute salt fiend. And ultimately that is everything. That's all I have. That's all I've been able to afford, and really it looks like quite a lot of stuff. You know, it looks like a good amount. I've got five cans worth of food, a lot, you know, a kilogram of rice, lots of veg, lots of porridge. But ultimately, it's a lot less than what I'm used to. So yeah, tomorrow I'll be giving a bit more information about what the Live Below the Line campaign means. I'll also be showing you my meals every day. I might do a cooking video with my meals. Maybe we'll just see how it goes. And I'll tell you about the little twist that I'm putting on the challenge for myself. But until then, I've been Andrew Peachey, and I'm doing the Live Below the Line campaign 2013 in the UK. And thanks for watching.